Goniometric functions in lambda. Goniometric functions in lambda do not present particular problems, as they are substantially abbreviations of the textual term. Sin stands for sine, cos for cosine, tan for tangent, and so on. They are entered from the keyboard in a textual way. Since we are in math mode and not in text mode, they are recognized by the system as unique elements. If we type cos, it will be recognized as a cosine element, and if you wanted to delete a single letter, it would not be possible. In fact, in trying to delete it, the cursor automatically moves left, and the entire cos element is completely deleted, so it is not possible to delete, for example, only the s of cos. Furthermore, JAWS text-to-speech will read the term as cosine and not simply as cos, so the term is exactly recognized and there is no ambiguity, for example, between the cosine of alpha or the cosine of A and different similar words. Should we want to write a different word, it would be necessary to access the text mode, which is introduced through Ctrl+J. Then the word can be easily written, so the synthesis recognizes this element as cosine of A, while the part which is in text mode will actually be read differently. Lambda recognizes all the main goniometric functions, both the direct and the inverse ones, for example the sine arc, the secant arc, and so on. The list can be found in the goniometric functions menu. All functions should be written with the abbreviation as it is done in black. There are no open and close elements, so they will all be green elements. The only precaution is that if we need to manipulate the expression, for example, insert raise to the second or something else, we must obviously pay attention to the position of the exponents. For example, cosine of x to the second will be very different from cosine to the second of x. Let's also check through F4 that the graphic writing actually has a different meaning. Sometimes it would be better to introduce a parenthesis to avoid ambiguity. For instance, we can write cosine of x and then the exponentation to the second after the parentheses. This could actually eliminate any ambiguities. I would also like to remind you that, generally speaking, the angle, which is the subject of econometric functions, must be expressed either through the number and the symbol of degree or of angle, or either through Greek letters. To enter Greek letters, it is enough to enter the Greek prefix, which is Ctrl+G, and the corresponding Latin letter. For example, cosine of alpha can be written cosine Greek prefix A, and therefore the result will actually be cosine of alpha. As a didactic suggestion, the Greek text can sometimes weigh down the writing. Therefore, as it also happens in many texts in black, it is sometimes better to avoid writing Greek letters and to use Latin letters directly instead. This in order to avoid the double character. Finally, let's underline that in the various options on the calculator, it is always possible to enter, for example, the unit of measurement of the angles, since among the operators it is also possible to calculate the goniometric functions. As in scientific calculators, it is advisable to check that the angles are expressed in the favorite units of measurement, radians, degrees, or gradients. In this case, first we will write the value 90 degrees. Then it will be possible to apply the sine operator.